to dent the Wigan record at the JJB Stadium this year. Can they go just one more match? Andy Farrell gets us in the way. Watch out for this. 80 minutes of pure theatre and pure drama. And Wellens takes the first tackle of this crunch. Who's for Old Trafford? Who's the bravest? Who's the biggest? Who's the quickest? Well, it will all unfold right here on Sky Sports tonight. And Wellens again.
And who's going to be the strongest, because it's going to be a battle royal with the forwards up front. And this is a huge surprise. There he is, David Furley, starting the game last week against Hull. It looked as though his season was over. An amazing comeback.
Well, he lasted 17 minutes at the Boulevard. Radlinski just misses the trap. And so the trap is sprung by Tommy Martin.
Ooh, swinging arm there from Martin. Didn't get it right, Radlinski. And it was a real meeting of the big fellas there. What a great kick and chase from Saints.
Being roared on by this crowd. Harvey Howard driving it in towards the chest of Iro. And Iro standing his ground against the big prop forward. Newton at dummy half. Here's O'Connor. Big collision, and that was Peter Shields who bounced off that. Number 10, Furley, is in there. So too Cunningham, so too Iro. Referee Stuart Cummings having the devil's own job, trying to make himself heard. Here is Brett Dallas, the kick downfield. Wellens is after it, and Wellens will collect.
Great thinking there from Brett Dallas, realised there was nowhere to go. And what a great chase. Renouf leading the way. Well, the kicking game obviously will play its part. Barely into a minute and a half, and we've seen two great kick and chase games.
Ian Millwood, the St Helens coach. They thrashed Wigan 54-16 last year to go through to the grand final. And speaking to him yesterday, despite the injuries he's had, he was supremely confident. But Matautia makes the first mistake.
Just couldn't catch it there, just bobbled, and then when it hit the ground, it came loose, and they could pay for this. A little bit too high there from Fairley.
So a glorious opportunity for Farrell, but he's picked out by Matautia. A great tackle. That's 3 gone. This is Newton. He'll come back to Adrian Lamb, and Adrian Lamb will find another man, and in support is Connolly, and Connolly is dragged into touch.
Great sliding defence there from the Saints. They allowed Connolly the option on the outside, and you can see there before he released the ball, Kevin Iro had slid him through. Stuart Raper a little bit concerned that they didn't take that opportunity when Matautia came up with a mistake.
Let's go, stay in, Andy.
There's the man that got him over the whitewash.
He is a massive big game player, is Kevin Iro. So is this fellow Cunningham, and the bloke at dummy half, Paul Sculthorpe. They are the keys, I think, if St Helens are going to win this match.
Little doubt about that. They've got to be at their best. Interesting to see there that it was Cunningham that played outside the pack. Remember last week, Tommy Martin was most ineffective. David Furner down there. He looks as though he's picked it, and Cunningham has lost the ball.
Well, I think it was more Gary Connolly stealing it from him. One-on-one, so it's play on. And here is Matthew Johns, wide to Renouf. Back on the inside comes the Irish international Brian Carney. Stankovic and Hoppy all round him. Not down yet, and Carney trying to get the ball away. Tackle completed now. Well, a couple of mistakes early from St Helens, but so far Wigan haven't been able to punish them. Good tackling by Furley again on Farrell. Here goes Terry Newton. Good ball out wide to Renouf. He's got the man on the overlap. The man on the overlap is Carney, but Renouf's taking him on himself. Now he gets the ball away, and the defence is there.
Did well to offload there in heavy traffic. Carney's picked up a knock.
He can't get to his feet to play the ball. The referee will call time off.
He was badly hurt there.
Play the ball, Brian.
And he doesn't know where he is. You see the not a swinging arm, nothing illegal there as far as I'm concerned. Just a real tough tackle. A little bit slight swing from Shields.
Carney well enough to play the ball. Tackle count continues, and it comes wide here to Connolly on the bounce. He's got Dallas ahead of him. He also has Iro, who swats him to the ground.
Wonderful defence though by Saints. They really are being put on the rack.
Well, that's been a hallmark of St Helens over the years, and that kick from Farrell is too deep. Over the recent past, Farrell's kick too strong, and Stuart Raper knows it too. Over the recent past, though, the St Helens defence has won the matches.
Well, 2 sets of 6 there from the Wigan Warriors. And you could see the expression on Stuart Raper, the Wigan coach, too happy with the fact that he was too strong.
Cunningham's on his way to the blood bin, his nose streaming blood, and it needs clearing up. Stuart Cummings absolutely right.
Let's get the replacement on.
Well, it's no good doing that. He's got to get off. The official says he's shown him the medical card. He has to get it seen to.
Hang on, Tommy.
So Kieran Cunningham comes off and Mickey Hyam comes on. That's a hooker for a hooker, but there's no Cunningham for the time being. St Helens, though, will attack here through Anthony Stewart.
Well, I know Waters is a great healer, but it will not stop. The running nose there. The blood was streaming out of Cunningham. It just shows you this is going to be a big impact game throughout.
It's no place for faint hearts, this JJB Stadium.
Swinging arm there from Howard. They've got away with it as well.
Over the shoulder was the referee's version. Hyam gets the ball away. Here is Sculptor. Great tackle by Cassidy.
Saints will be buoyed by the fact that they really repulsed the onslaught from Wigan. 2 sets of 6 and they stood their ground.
It's the last tackle here, that's why there's the high hanging kick from Tommy Martin to Tesh Radlinski, and he claims it well, and Radlinski will try and run this ball out, gives it to Dallas. Oh, Stewart's missed him, and Dallas will head off, but only as far as Mickey Hyam.
Pretty dangerous stuff there from Chris Radlinski. A little bit too strong though was the kick from Tommy Martin. There was no real pressure applied to the Wigan fullback.
Good tackle by Furley on Farrell. So far that shoulder is standing up to the task. This now is O'Connor. Mickey Hyam with a good tackle.
Wigan working the very close net round the play the ball area. That's the 4th time they've switched it in. Not standing square at the play the ball. Spotted by Stuart Cummings.
Mickey Hyam, who missed last weekend, injured, and back here tonight, and honours a blood bin change for Kieran Cunningham. Lamb, and here goes Harvey Howard up the middle.
Big question now, can Saints absorb yet even more pressure?
Well, they'll have to, because it's with Farrell, and it's wide to Renoff, and great tackling by Sean Hoppy.
He lost that. Oh, the touch judge has not seen it. He dropped that football there. Little doubt in my mind, it was dropped.
Well, that will be a big talking point if Wigan score here. And this is Furner, and they're going to score, and Wigan will score. First blood to David Furner, but that should not have been allowed. That ball was dropped by Steve Renoff, and he's handing it on here. The video referee, he wants to have a look.
This will be no try. He dropped the ball, did Renoff. I'm sure it was Renoff that took a heavy knock on the tackle. This is the incident. Yeah, it was Renoff. Was he interfered with by Hoppy?
Well, St Helens supporters are on their feet cheering.
Yeah, but did Hoppy reap it out? He's supposed to release the man, and he's still hanging on to him. So therefore, this will be a penalty, or will they bring it back, or will they let the try stand? Little doubt that Hoppy's interfering. He's done everything right, as Steve Renouf, but he has dropped the football. I'm going to go for no try, but surely they're going to give a penalty, because you can see there that Hoppy's all over his opposite number.
Well, in the strict letter of the law, Renoff's got to regain his feet and then put the ball down, and he does that in the act of getting to his feet.
Yeah,
but it's a big call for Jerry Kershaw, this.
Is it ever? I'm going to go for no try.
And it is a no try. Scrum to the defence, which is St Helens. Well,
big call, but why on earth didn't the touch judge see that? We've had so many bad calls by the touch judges in this playoff series.
Well, it was right in front of him too.
I mean, he couldn't have missed it, Eddie.
They've got the decision right in the end, but the touch judge should have seen it, and we wouldn't have had to call on the video referee.
Well, that's a big let-off. It was good work from Furner. It was an absolute sensational crisscross ball back on the inside, and Furner showed that wonderful skills with the step.
Brilliantly offloaded there, and here is Peter Shields, tackled by Furner and Cassidy. He only went back to the previous play the ball, of course. Cunningham is back out of the blood bin now. The referee was able to go back to that incident because it was the last play the ball before that try was scored.
And to be fair to the official, Stuart Cummings, the experience showing there, realised there was a bit of a bobble.
Tommy Martin eventually gets it away to Wellens. There's a big collision there, and Wellens is on his own. He's looking to attack the line now, which he does. Harvey Howard clobbers into the ground. It's the last tackle. Here's Sculthorpe. They're coming wide with Martin. Now the kick in field. Cassidy waits. Oh,
brilliant.
And Cassidy has to be brave.
Sure has. Talk about putting your body on the line. The big fella Matautia going right in with the sliding knees.
Oh. Again, here we go.
Well, he's an absolute hero for Wigan, is Mick Cassidy, one of the unsung heroes. And here goes Carney. Exciting Irish international.
Wonderful effort there by the winger, taking him another 15 metres forward, and that is important, especially when it comes down to the kick and chase. This will mean that Wigan will be able to punish St Helens right deep into the corner.
They get the penalty now, Wigan. This is the head-to-head. And in Super League 6, that's the way it looks. You can add into all those statistics a victory for St Helens in the Challenge Cup at Knowsley Road in February. And over the weekly rounds in Super League since we started in '96, Wigan have won 10 of 17 over St Helens. Well, 9 minutes gone. The noise at the JJB is deafening, and we have a game on our hands here. Something to savour. 0-0. And Wigan examining this St Helens defence again with Lamb wide to Farrell. And Farrell on a run, and Stankovic has missed him. Farrell cuts inside, the ball is inside to Adrian Lamb, and this one will count. Bad mistake by John Stankovic. He missed the Wigan captain completely, and he made the break, and Lamb following up hits double figures.
Beautiful play by the Wigan skipper. Everyone thought that he was going to shift the ball out to his left, out wide. He took the step and realised that the halfback was back on the inside. Lovely dummy, nothing that Wellens could do about that. Perfect pass. Lamb, who's had a wonderful season, backs up on the inside. It's all about reading the game, and he certainly read this to absolute perfection. Wonderful skills. Boy, oh boy, didn't he enjoy that.
Adrian Lamb did. 14 playoff games for the Sydney Roosters. 4 years he was there. He lost last year's NRL Grand Final. He hasn't scored many here at the JJB Stadium this year, not since June anyway, but that's a very important opening try here. So Wigan have a 4-point lead, and now their captain Andrew Farrell, who's played and scored in 47 consecutive matches, has the chance to make that number 48. 6-0 to the Wigan Warriors over the Saints.
Beautiful play by that man, and you can see that Sculthorpe went out wide. That meant that Stankovic, it was his man, went far too high, just brushed him away. That is an exceptional piece of rugby league football. Lamo started it with a pass to his skipper, the dummy, then back on the inside. Sculthorpe tried to take Cassidy out, made no difference. Lamb was underneath the sticks.
And Lamb has just tipped the ball in field for Harvey Howard. And Sean Hoppy and Stankovic leading the chase. And Carney is on fire. He's bouncing off the tackles. Took an early bang, but boy, is he making some inroads into St Helens territory every time he gets it.
Well, I get the impression that he's got his eyes on the Great Britain spot. And if he plays like this throughout, he'll certainly get the nod when the Aussies come over.
Badlinski to his feet, Newton the dummy half, it's with Cassidy, it goes wide to Farrell, and further wide to Renoff. Saints have a problem down the right-hand side, Renoff has a problem too.
If he could have got the ball behind, it was a wonderful piece of rugby league football, but I think you'll find a St Helens hand. I think it was Hoppy that just got to him at the critical moment.
But Saints have got a problem down that right-hand side, Steve-O.
Well, they're getting a little bit loose there, and Hoppy came back. But what a perfect balanced dummy there from Steve Renoff. Well, I just get the feeling that Ian Mill with the Saints coach will be quite happy with the fact that they're only 6 points down. This game could have been well and truly over. The amount of breaks opportunity that Wigan have had, and look at the scoreline. It's only 6-0.
And around about 13 minutes on the clock. There's Ian Millwood, the St Helens coach. In the foreground is chairman Howard Morris. hoping that they're going to make it to Old Trafford for a third year in a row. And the breaks that Steve-O's talking about, 7, and St Helens have yet to make one. What have they got here with Wellens playing his 100th St Helens match tonight?
Well, the one thing about the Saints, they will be patient. They realise that they're the comeback kings.
Sculthorpe with a crossfield kick, palm down, oh, little touch there, it's a knock-on. It was a knock-on by Tommy Martin.
There you are, Gary, play the ball.
It's on the last, that'll be the turnover. Not a bad effort though. Good work from Stewart in the end, but just a little knock-on.
No penalty.
Well, I don't think Martin got to it, actually. I think he
Wigan have dropped it. Wigan have dropped it on the first tackle. Here's Iro.
Okay.
And it's with Kevin Iro, Terry O'Connor, important tackle. Tommy Martin down the short side.
Tackle 1.
And Matthew Johns saying there was a use of an elbow, and Matthew Johns holding his jaw. This is David Furley. He hands it on to Cunningham. Now it's with Peter Shields. Out the back door to Wellens. Saints are losing ground.
Right,
And Wigan come in with a tackle.
Super defence came in on the angle.
Chances here though. Joint was almost in. Desperate tackle from O'Connor. Sculthorpe. Flick pass. Who has it? Come on.
Carney's got it.
Carney, you're right.
No penalties.
They forced the pass, they took the gamble, it didn't come off. It was Wigan who made the mistake. Cassidy, what a wonderful run. St Helens are being caught, they're going far too high. This is the elbow straight into John's face. Little wonder he complained to the touch judge. Nothing forthcoming. This is spicing up yet again.
Tim Yonkers comes on. It's his 70th St Helens appearance tonight. St Helens desperately trying to halt this Wigan tide. And Johns takes another tumble. Plays the ball to Newton. It's now with Farrell. And on the inside comes Cassidy. Beautiful hands.
Oh, he slipped there, did Renaud.
He did.
The ball was being slipped back on the inside.
Wigan are cutting them open down that side.
But it's a reverse pass that's causing a lot of problems for the St Helens defence.
Midfield bomb from Matthew Johns. And it's
Play the ball where you are, Tim.
a knock-on against Gary Connolly.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Just a brush.
The arm and the shoulder. Well spotted there by Stuart Cummins. The pace of this game, unbelievable, and that surely will be in Wigan's favour. St Helens, we know about their injury problems, but they are the sudden death kings of the Super League, that is for sure.
Chris Joint, acting halfback. Away it goes to David Furley. He gives it
He's
to
lost it.
Sculthorpe, who's lost it in the tackle.
With the first knock on. Well, this defence is cruel from both sides. They are taking no prisoners. Bang!
Sean Long is alongside Ian Millwood. There was a thought this week that Long, who's been at Lillesall all week, might make a dramatic reappearance in the side here tonight.
Oh, that was only mind games, Eddie. It was happening all week. Though I must say that Wigan coach Stuart Raper, he was the first to start it. He named his team on Tuesday.
Yes,
he was
did.
quite happy. He said, listen, let them worry about us.
Well, Sean Long wrote on his own website column, Connolly flicks the pass and it's not claimed by Dallas.
Couldn't get it in there.
Stewart will pick up for Saints.
Well, another clean break there, this time from Connolly. This game should be wrapped up. Will it affect the brain of these Wigan players? He should have taken that, and he knows it, Brett Dallas.
Wigan offside. In fact, they're not standing square at the play of the ball. They're still in this, the champions.
The champions should be dead and buried. But it just shows you how much they dig deep, this St Helens side.
With the flag.
How they've got back, scrambling defence.
And here they come again with David Furley. Oh, picked up and dumped by David Ferner. Cunningham acting halfback. Shows it to Peter Shields. Out the back door to Furley. Here is Stankovic. Stankovic decided he would take them on. Now then, Iro! He's over!
Has he got it down?
He has! Kevin Iro scores for St Helens. Never say never against this lot. They're back in it. They've been on the ropes, and like the champion heavyweight boxers that they are, they bounced back.
Well, we talk about the psychological aspect of this game, and it was Wigan. They were running riot, and they allowed him to run from dummy half. That is a soft try. Stuart Raper knows that they have just given them a great opportunity to get back into this game. The centre, who has a wonderful knack of coming up with the goods on the big time, the big games and the big moment, and that is a big 4-pointer.
Well, he averages a try every other game over the past 2 years. He got a try in the 22-all draw here on Good Friday. He was 4 years at Wigan, and boy has he upset the locals with that try. And Sculthorpe here to add the extras. Well, this is a big kick for Paul Sculthorpe. Try against Hull last week was his 30th in all this year, but he's added on 81 goals as well, and that's 82. Scores a level at the JJB Stadium. It's Wigan 6, the champions 6. Kevin Iro, that was his record here at Wigan. He won trophies for fun, and he's doing the same at Saints.
Look at that, Terry O'Connor, you never turn your back to the opposition. Look at the gap that they allowed him. And he went straight for the referee. That was quick thinking from Iro. Wonderful effort.
2 tries here, by the way, in the playoff match last year that St Helens won, and they won in a canter actually, 54 points to 16. Well, don't think anyone would suggest there'll be 54-16 for anyone tonight.
What resilience though this St Helens side. They just produce it week in, week out. I mean, they were on the rack. They were tortured.
Sculthorpe's gone for a 40-20 here. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. No, he won't. Carney is quick.
Ooh, that could be a turning point. If that had gone in and just twisted to the right at the last moment, I think Saints could have taken the initiative and taken the ascendancy here.
Renouf is having a big game tonight. 4 grand final wins with the Broncos in Brisbane, of course, behind him. Here is O'Connor driving it up to the 40-metre line for Wigan. Newton gets it away to Adrian Lamb, and Adrian Lamb on a break. The flooding up in support. And he took the wrong option, and it's with Stewart now.
Well, he's having a nightmare. He is having a nightmare, I'm afraid, is Brett Dallas.
And I'm not sure the touch judge has got this one right.
He should have just the little short ball to Connolly. We'll see it here. Yeah, well, he got it on the second occasion anyway.
It's a penalty to St Helens anyway, because the tackle was completed, and then there was the push.
Here we go.
I'm not so sure. It looked as though Stewart was moving. Well, Stewart got away with a decision at Hull, remember? The famous head of God on the whitewash. He's got away with it again.
St Helens suddenly have their tails up.
Well, we were talking about the mind games, Eddie, and the fact that Wigan absolutely in full control. Look at that, 10-2, and yet it's level.
That's good, boys.
And here come the champions again in the shape of Peter Shields, who gets it away to David Furley. Well, what an effort from Furley, by the way. Cunningham will give it to Sculthorpe. Last tackle for Saints. Iro. Martin. Angle kick for Cunningham. Oh! Ooh, and he crunches his way into the advertising hoardings.
Super play and a great option. They were absolutely caught cold with the Wigan defence. He just didn't get the bounce there. Connolly was never going to stop him. Super play. Off the side of the boot there from Sculthorpe. Cunningham knew exactly what to expect, and he knew what it was going. Just a touch too far.
Hands out, hands out.
Inventive play from the Saints. Wigan looking to break them down again. Terrific contest is building here. It's with Lamb, and he's making hay. Cassidy, touch.
That'll be play on.
Oh, and that's a knock on.
No, that'll be play on again.
Yeah, that was a knock-on by Radlinski, but
Yeah.
Saints got it back.
Back to 6 because it was knocked backwards there by Joint.
Right, tackle
So
one.
that was play on.
Make the line.
Another clean break. That makes it 11-2.
Here's a break now from Wellens.
Two, stand up.
Ferner with a flying tackle. Adrian Lamb's having a field day. This is Shields. Flick pass, Joint. Flick pass, Farrell.
Just a little bit too fancy there from Chris Joint.
This is fantastic, and it's only for a place at Old Trafford. What would it be like in 7 days' time?
Only?
What I mean is there is no trophy at the end of this. That's what I mean. There is a trophy next week. Ferner.
Well, it's amazing the St. Helens first line of defence having so much trouble. Wigan working the angles and then bringing someone back on the inside. They're getting those breaks, but somehow they're having to come back. That's got to take its effect late in the game. They will tire. They've got to.
Lamb with a deep kick, but that's going nowhere, only over the dead ball line.
Well, he got the back spin on it, expected it to just stand up. It's a ploy that all kickers utilise in Super League.
Well, he looks a little bit anxious, Stuart Raper. If you were with us on Wednesday evening for Rugby League World, Phil Clark was saying it's incomprehensible that Wigan could lose to St Helens tonight. That's the view in this particular part of the world. Phil, it's level pegging and it's a great game.
Certainly is. I was talking to Nicky Barmby this week of Liverpool and England, and he was saying it should be Hull, in fact, who were here, but Saints seem to ride the luck. The try last week, well, that went their way, and so far things are going their way as well. They've held the storm that Wigan have thrown at them. But one thing Wigan must do is prevent St Helens from getting close to the line, because they are better than any other team in this country at putting points on the scoreboard when they get close. And it's a penalty like this that gives them the field position to get into the right attacking set, and the one in which they scored from last time. Too high a shot again.
Well, this is stupid. This is just like presenting something on a plate. It was a problem. Their discipline was awful last week. Wigan knows it, the coach knew it, and so did the skipper, Andy Farrell.
Well, it's given St Helens a glorious opportunity with Furley again. Furley tackled by Johns. Here goes Cunningham, and now it's with Peter Shields. He releases the pass to Furley again, who gets it away to Wellens. Here is Sculthorpe, and now it's with Chris Joint. He keeps it alive on the bounce, and it goes back to Wellens. Wellens then gets it away. Sculthorpe looking out wide for Hall, and Hall will come back this way.
Well, I don't know what's happened, but someone's put that ball in the oven. It's red hot.
Hoppy, Sculthorpe.
They are keeping this ball alive, both sides. Tremendous rugby league football.
Cunningham. Halted this time.
Down the line, Andy.
Yonkers, the dummy half. Here's Sculthorpe. Stabs the kick in, bounces off a Wigan hand, or foot rather, and Ferner's got it back. Ferner's got it from Wigan.
Great work there. Sculthorpe just had it on one hand. Offside. A little bit too eager. Oh, and boy, oh boy, that's a relief for the Warriors. There's a kick.
Ferner did well.
Did he ever? Sculthorpe just had to reach out. Didn't have much control of it. Ferner was very quick there.
Well, all square on the penalty count. All square where it counts on the scoreboard. And Wigan in possession here with O'Connor. And the tackle is completed without O'Connor hitting the deck. Now here comes Cowie, driving it in the chest of Shields. Yonkers and Stankovic there as well. Turn the Welsh international on his back. Right on halfway Wigan, with Adrian Lamb to Mick Cassidy. Yonkers, good tackling.
You know, Eddie, I've had so much admiration for the size in these playoff situations. This is outstanding.
Oh, what another break from Matthew Johns. Radlinski's inside. Radlinski is ankle tapped, but will score. Referee was right there. The ball appeared to bounce, but he is in no doubt. Radlinski scores. That's try number 30 of this year for him. The try is given, and Radlinski a try in each of his last 4 appearances. He missed the win over Saints here 3 weeks ago.
Beautiful play by Newton back onto Lamb, and then you see there Johns through the dummy. Yet another break. They tried everything they could. Martin, ankle tap, little doubt about it. Good positioning by Stuart Cummings, but this little inside pass has just absolutely ripped St Helens apart. Okay, Wigan haven't made it count, but they have on this occasion. As the dam burst, no doubt about the grounding. Cummings was right on line to see everything of that.
Chris Radlinski scoring the try, but Matthew Johns and Adrian Lamb combining tonight, and they're ripping the heart out of the St Helens defence. I think he knows it too. Will this be one match too far for the Saints? Stuart Raper hopes so, as does Andrew Farrell. 1 from 1 for Farrell tonight so far. That's 2 from 2, and Wigan have restored their 6-point advantage.
Watch the hooker and the halfback back on the inside. They've been doing it all night. Zap. And you can see that the defence looking a little bit tired through the dummy. Martin did ever so well to get a hand to him, but the momentum was far too much. There you can see Cummings. Radlinski. Has the dam been breached?
Radlinski feels the kick-off and runs it back. And Johnson has come on for Brett Dallas. Dallas, who's missed the last 3. And Radlinski got, I think, a boot or a hand underneath the boot there.
Certainly in a bit of pain.
Connolly, well, he fell, but he's able to get up off his backside again and find Johns, who arrows the ball to Farrell. And Farrell, that tackle completed. Play the ball.
What a great effort from Sculthorpe. Took the dummy, Farrell, and then just lunged out, got both arms there, made sure he got to him. Well, they've been breached so easily, yet they've only scored the 2 tries.
Here goes Newton now. He's got support wide, which is Carney. And Carney, well, again, they somehow hold him out.
But how long can they keep doing this? The energy levels must be getting so low.
This is Lamb who stabs the kick through, and Wellens claims it, and Wellens runs it back to 10 metres. That's a great run from the fullback.
Beautiful position there. Wellens ready ever so well. But there we saw on that last attacking play the gaps that are appearing in this St Helens defence. And yet they're still only 6 points adrift. Had very little of the football in this first half. Well, Wigan may be bossing things out there at the moment, but I'm sure that Ian Millward, as he's done so often in the past, will be saying to his chargers, we're still in it. We can't play as bad. We've got to get more opportunities in the second half.
And look at them, the way they keep this ball alive all the time. Jointer swooped on the loose ball. Renoff's on his back. The tackle completed. It's the last one. Yonkers. It gets dumped back to Wellens. It's the last tackle. It's now with Martin, the kicker. Martin's in trouble. He's lost it. It's with Ferner. It's play on. Well, I don't know whether they missed the call there, but the noise here at the JJB Stadium, no wonder.
Well, the point is there were 2 forwards that went in first and second receiver, and Martin was way out wide. They've got to sort that out. Sculthorpe, Martin, they've got to get themselves into a position so they can make sure they get that kick away.
This is Cowie taking on David Furley and Cunningham. Cunningham wrestling him into the ground. It's 20 metres away with Newton, and Newton will score for Wigan. Terry Newton with the try. 3rd try for the Wigan Warriors. Newton, the defence again just melted away. Well, he missed a few tries last week, blew the opportunity, but there was no blowing that one for Terry Newton.
Well, someone's pulled the field pipe away from St Helens, and I think that Ian Millward is beginning to realise that nothing is going right for him out there. Missing far too many tackles, dropping the ball, giving the opportunity Ferner yet again from that position. This was a simple try. They couldn't fill in. It's a tired outfit. I think St Helens has started to realise that this is a bridge too far. This is a game too far. I question, had the dam broken? I hate to say it, Eddie, I think it has.
Well, never right. St Helens off. Remember, they were 22-12 down here on Good Friday with 8 minutes to go, and they snatched a draw. This is not over yet. Terry Newton with the try. 15 now for the season for the 22-year-old. And Andrew Farrell. 15 points against Hull. Stuart Raper alongside Billy McGinty now in the dugout. Customary walk down the stands with about 10 minutes to go in the half. And watching here as Farrell lines the conversion up. What a kick! What a kick from the Wigan captain. The gap is 12 points, 18-6.
Wonderful run from Newton. You can see there, Fairley's the only one there, and that's the question. Where is the other defence? Sculthorpe just glided out to the right. That is a simple try, and that is a sign of a very, very tired defence indeed. But as Eddie's mentioned, they dig deep to the Saints. You can't write them off. I'm with you, Eddie.
There's 6 minutes to go. Another try for Wigan, and it will be a huge mountain for St Helens to climb in the second half. Terry Newton, and look at his average this year, 4 runs from dummy half. Tonight he's got 6 in already.
3! Here we are, fellas.
Well, we've seen that Brett Dallas has left the field. Bill has got the news on him.
That's right, Eddie, it's the only worry for Wigan at the moment. Everything going well on the pitch, but off it, Brett Dallas, as you can see, is very, very groggy indeed. He went in, took the ball up, as you might recall about 20 minutes ago, met 3 Saints defenders head on, and that is the result. He is very dazed, his vision is a bit blurred, but they're hoping that he might be able to come back.
Johnson, a lovely little touch it was, but that wasn't. The ball was nicked there by Stankiewicz, but what a kick, just a little dab through the St Helens defence, inviting Johnson to run. Matthew Johns.
Yeah, they're playing out of the skin, both the 2 half-backs, Matthew Johns, Adrian Lamb, and the trio, making up the trio, Andy Farrell. And Newton is having a wow of a game. He's penalised, a little bit too over-exuberant there.
Not standing square, Terry Newton.
Not square.
You've got to hand it to Newton. He was quick to point out in the media this week that he's going to keep his mouth shut. He was penalised several occasions last week, which allowed Bradford and Henry Paul to kick them out of the game. He said, look, I'll get on with the game that I know I can play, and boy oh boy, he's doing that tonight. He's having a wow of a match.
No penalty.
David Furley is still out there, 36 minutes on the clock. Here is Cunningham. Oh, and Cunningham.
That was knocked down. That's well spotted by Stuart Cummings.
Right, go forward off me.
We talk about having experienced referees, and you see Cassidy knocking that ball forward. Yep. Only the fingertips, but it doesn't matter. Wigan fans don't like it. They think he just went for the arm.
Cunningham out at the back of the scrum, finds Wellens.
Right, top of 1, stand down.
Now it's Wigan's turn to defend. Cunningham to Joint.
2.
Saints know they've got to get over the whitewash here before half-time.
Cunningham's just a man, but he's being pushed and pushed towards the touchline.
That'll be a penalty. Silly play. You could hear Stuart Cummings shouting, held. No good arguing with the referee. He's the man in charge.
So another set of 6 here for Saints. Martin to Yonkers. Yonkers releases the ball on the first tackle.
Why did they have to force the pass there?
Very first tackle, another set of 6, and the pass was forced straight into the arms of Adrian Lamb.
Oh, they didn't need to do that.
And again, Marcus square, Tim.
And here they come again, Wigan, with Lamb, the tackle by Joint. Plays the ball to Andy Farrell, who finds Mick Cassidy. And he's grounded on the halfway line. That's the 5th and last, says Stuart Cummings. And there's the kick down the line from Farrell for Carney to chase. Hall is there. And Steve Hall will run this ball back, but a great chase from Dennis Betts. Still he got the pass away though to Wellens, but they're hunting tonight Wigan. They're hunting a place at Old Trafford.
In the mood. Super defence there. Good work also by Paul Wellens there. Went to the assistant, help his winger out. But they are on fire. And Stuart Raper knows it too. Oh, it's hit the ground.
And luckily for St Helens, Iro was there.
That's got a big penalty. Silly play. Well, I know there's a big crowd here, and they are making a heck of a din. But you could hear Stewart Cummings shout out. Play the ball, and he continued on. This will be a gift 2 points.
Well, was he tackled? Was Kevin Iro tackled there?
It doesn't matter if the referee says that the tackle has been complete, which it had. The ball carrying arm had hit the deck.
Yeah, but there wasn't a hand on him, Stephen.
No, Connolly had his leg. As soon as the ball carrying arm hits the deck, and you've got someone, watch Connolly. Watch Connolly. He goes onto his leg, and his hands hit the deck.
I think we should be timed now.
Plus the fact you could hear Cummings say, "Get up and play."
Well, we could because we've got a microphone on him. But in fairness to all the players, both sides, they're lucky to hear themselves speak out there. Well, 18-6. It's a very important kick right on the stroke of half-time.
Maybe that is an excuse, but they're only within a few metres of the official. Not that this guy will mind. And he knows it's a vital 2 points. So does Ian Millward.
Well, Andy Farrell coming into this match 10 points shy of Frano Botica's all-time club record for a season. If he kicks this, he'll be too short, and he is. It's 20 points to 6 to Wigan. 14 points better, obviously, than 12 at half-time. It means the Saints have to score 3 times.
Well, you can see the expression of Ian Millward, the Saints coach. He has produced some absolutely scintillating half-time talks that has turned negatives into positives, but it's going to be a wonderful effort if he can get his players up for this second 40.
That's half-time. That will do. And an excellent first half for the Wigan Warriors. And Terry Newton, one of their 3 try scorers. They are the happiest end of this stadium. The St Helens supporters just hope that Ian Millward can again wave the magic wand and weave a little bit of something special in that dressing room to turn them out for the second half. Ian Millward in there now and waiting for his charges. Just the one Iro try and Sculthorpe goal, but Wigan, after the 12th minute when Lamb scored a try, followed up by Radlinski and Newton, Farrell has kicked 4 goals, and that's why we have a 20 points to 6 situation at half-time. So Wigan unbeaten at home this year. In fact, they have lost just once on this ground in 2 years. Against who? St Helens. Last year, 26 at half-time.
He's still the biggest name in boxing, fighting to prove he can be #1 again. 48 wins, 42 knockouts. Now, Iron Mike Tyson is in Copenhagen to face local hero Brian Nielsen, who boasts 62 wins from 63 fights. And on the same bill, Joe Calzaghe, 36 wins, 26 knockouts, still undefeated and still the super middleweight champion of the world, faces American Will Kidfire McIntyre, who has never been stopped. Crunch time in Copenhagen next Saturday, Sky Box Office. Sky digital viewers can order this event for $14.95. See Channel 770 for ordering information. Cable customers, contact your local operator.
Can I get you a drink, Pet?
Strongbow pint. Ah, loafing juice.
What do you want? Go on, naff off.
If you could bank a rewarding moment, what would it be?
When I proposed to my girlfriend and we saw a shooting star.
Swimming with dolphins.
Glastonbury, 97.
Lloyd's TSB can help you save for your rewarding moments too. Our reward savings account rewards you for leaving your money alone with one of the best high street rates around. Lloyd's TSB, your life, your bank. Fresh taste and aroma of Nescafe Gold Blend. Inspiring stuff.
Just fantastic.
Cool, calm, collected, professional. Pierce, power, speed, quickness.
Commitment, hunger, and ruthlessness.
Build a score. Build a score.
Attitude is so important.
Up close and personal with the Lions. See it for yourself.
Mandy.
Muller rice. Thick and tasty and satisfying.
There's first love, and there's mother love.
Look at everyone. The lunchtime rush hour. I mean, we all should just sit back and relax. But there's so much to do, so little time, you don't stop to think. I mean, you should just try and take it easy, like me. Bingo.
10% of all thefts from cars happen while they're unlocked.
Wouldn't catch me leaving my car open. Never knows around, do you?
Don't give them an easy ride.
We're looking forward now to the biggest and best night of the Super League year, and now one of the highlights of the British sporting calendar. The Bulls are there. Who will join them, Wigan or St Helens? At half-time here, it looks like it will be the Wigan Warriors, though there are 40 minutes to go here at the JJB Stadium. And this is the situation. Wigan 20, St Helens 6. 3 tries to 1, and Andy Farrell has kicked 4 goals for the Wigan Warriors. Champions are up against it. Let's take a look at the facts, and well, missed tackles, that's a problem for St Helens, but the offloads and the breaks, 17 breaks by Wigan, just 3 by the Saints. And here are the top performers so far tonight, and David Fairley, well, what an effort from him. He's played the full 40 minutes, he's come in with 15 tackles. Well, can Ian Millwood tonight work the miracle? He's done it so many times, hasn't he, for St Helens over the last couple of years. He got them back into the match against Brisbane Broncos. That's when their season began, on the 26th of January. Is this their last match of 2001? Well, what about Stuart Raper? He is very much in the box seat. He knows he's got one step on Sir Matt Busby way, and in 40 minutes' time, there could be the biggest party in Wigan for quite a while, because they will go to Old Trafford if they win this. Stuart very animated. Of course, both these clubs have got matches against the Aussies, haven't they, later on in the month and throughout November, so not quite the end of the road yet for whoever loses this, but whoever loses this does kiss goodbye to the Super League race for 2001. A 14-point deficit at half-time, Steve-O, looks enormous from a St Helens point of view now.
Yeah, it certainly does in such a vital game like this, but as Eddie has often said, it's part of the St Helens plan, isn't it, that they go in at half-time way behind and they have this knack of coming back. But we always give the yards forward, but I'm afraid we don't take into account the yards that they have to go back and do their defensive. 17 clean breaks, this was one of them. It looked as though they were on their way. Beautiful work from Ferner back on the inside, but when Stuart Cummins went for the video replay, he got it right, did the video referee, because this is the incident. There you see Hoppy and Steve Renouf, when he gets up to play the ball, he does lose the football. Simple as that. How on earth the touch judge missed it? Thankfully, the video referee didn't. But it wasn't long after when Farrell, who's working way out wide, outside of the centres, this is one of the many clean breaks he's made. Beautiful support from Lamb. And it looked as though it was going to be, well, a sad day for the Saints. But Wigan, for once, the first opportunity, Saints high row, they allowed him to run from dummy half. It was poor defence, especially from O'Connor, at his back, turned to the attacking side. But this was sheer skill, wasn't it? I don't think I've ever seen Johns this year make as many breaks or ask the question. And it created the try for Radlinski. But this one indicated to me that St Helens are a shot side. They are very, very tired indeed. And why Yonkers? They haven't even had the first tackle on here. They're becoming their own worst enemy, aren't they? When they really needed a little bit of composure. They've done it before. Can they do it again? That is a big question. It's not going to be easy because I think they're having problems in their defensive out wide. They are seeming to be being pulled in by good work, the crisscross that Wigan are utilising, and then they're swinging the ball out wide. As I mentioned, Andy Farrell running out wide outside of the centres, creating all sorts of problems for the Saints.
Yes, the champions very much up against it, but do they have one more Houdini act left in their box of tricks for this year? Let's go down to the sideline and join Phil Clark. Phil, what do you think? Is there a chance for Saints?
Well, there certainly is. Their pedigree in sudden death rugby league means that they're a side that you don't want to be close within the game when it comes to 10 minutes from time. And Wigan, although they've got that 14-point lead, they certainly want that one to reduce in any capacity at all. Wigan have played very well, and I think they've shown a greater collective desire than I've seen from a Wigan side for a long time. And I think it harks back to Andy Farrell last week at the end of the game at Bradford when they lost narrowly. He gathered the players together, and I think his words really are echoed in the efforts of the players tonight. For one player in particular, I think Brian Carney out on the wing, very similar to what Jason Robertson used to do for Wigan. When they're deep in their own area and they need an injection of energy and enthusiasm, he's come in field, got involved, and he's certainly got his side on a roll and going forward. For Saints, really, well, it has been difficult, and you've touched on their defensive frailties. Perhaps that's down to the quality ball movement that Wigan have played in the first half. They've moved the ball very wide early in the tackle count, and that's created more space for the Wigan halfbacks. Lamb and Johns have taken on the defensive line, and they've really exploited them. Not quite put the points on the board that they would have liked, but a wonderful first half from Wigan, and they'll just be dreading that famous St Helens comeback.
Yes, half-time sometimes comes at the wrong time for a team that's leading, but Wigan look tonight, don't they, as though they have got the bit well and truly between their teeth. And at the moment, I think it's a close-run thing between the two halfbacks, Matthew Johns, Adrian Lamb, who might go home. It's not up for me to say, of course. I don't have a vote. Steve-O and Phil do, as to who takes this little box of tricks home with them tonight. That goes to the man of the match, as it always does on our Sky Sports matches. And, well, I wonder who it will be going home with that watch tonight. If you want to contact us, by the way, you can via the website, and our email address is rugbyleague@skysports.com. And if you have any news that you'd like to pick up on the world of rugby league, www.skysports.com. And you can also find out, by the way, on that website, all the details and information you might like to know about next weekend's grand final, which of course will kick off at 6:30 at Old Trafford next Saturday night. Now then, a quick reminder for you that if you are watching on Sky Digital, you can access the Sky Active menu at any time simply by pressing the red button on your remote control. Right, we're going to take a break right now, and when we return, we will have the second grand finalist named of 2001. At least we will, in 40 minutes' time. Wigan are ahead by 20 points to 6.
Another day, another ad for John Smith's Extra Smooth. Ooh. Oh.
Buying a car is not easy. So many questions. The salesman tells me it has ABS sat-nav and 120 horses. The most I had before was 4 dogs. He knows a lot about cars. But when I asked him about depreciation, he went as quiet as fish through water.
At Alliance and Leicester, we don't just lend you the cash. Our car buyer's guide also gives you the right questions to ask.
60, 75, goes to 88. 35, 45, 65, 75, 88, 88, 88 again.
How are you going to take that lot with you? I'm not. I've already sold it on.
Wireless solutions from Compaq make it happen. The Compaq Evo notebook with Intel Pentium 3 processor puts the power of your company's infrastructure into your hands wherever you are.
Tomorrow, find out for yourself if Observer Sport Monthly delivers something that sports coverage has long needed. Vinnie Jones talks about how football is bitchier than Hollywood in The Observer tomorrow.
This is a big one. Again.
Up close and personal with the Lions. See it for yourself.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is the Wizard of Wiz, if ever a wiz there was. If ever a wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Whether it's a car or a new kitchen, at Alliance and Leicester, we'll help you buy what you've always wanted. To find out more, call 0870 3333 444 or visit any branch.
The heat's just been turned up on Temptation Island.
No, from what I've told you, that I have kissed somebody else,
Has Damien really learnt his lesson?
He's got a lot of things going on in his head.
Or is he making promises?
I can swear to you that it's not going to happen again,
He simply cannot keep.
If he's willing to do something, then so am I.
Find out in Temptation Island tomorrow at 10, Sky 1.
Live boxing next Saturday night on Sky Box Office. The return of Iron Mike Tyson in a 10-round heavyweight clash against Denmark's Brian Nielsen. Also on the bill, Joe Calzaghe defending his WBO World Super Middleweight title against Will McIntyre. The show starts 8 o'clock next Saturday, live from Copenhagen. For more information, the number to call is 08705 800 888. That's 08705 800 888. One of these two sides is just 40 minutes away from the grand final. At the moment, Wigan have got half a key to the door. 20 points to 6. They lead the champions at half-time. This is the 37th game of an injury-ravaged season for the Saints. Many people are likening the plight that they are facing here tonight to that of the team they beat in the World Club Championship on January the 26th, the Brisbane Broncos of Australia. They had injuries galore. They got to this stage of their playoffs and Parramatta knocked them out.
Okay, Paul, let's go.
But has Ian Millwood said the right things? I'm sure he has at half-time. Can the players now carry it out? When you play St Helens, you normally say if you stop Cunningham and Sculthorpe, you stop the Saints. This evening, you have to say, Steve-O, not if you stop Andrew Farrell, but if you stop Matthew Johns and Adrian Lamb in this second half, the champions have a chance.
Yeah, it's a quartet that you've just mentioned, Johns and Lamb, the two half-backs, along with Terry Newton, who's controlled things at the dummy half. And we mentioned the fact that Farrell is running out wide outside the centres. But we saw in that first half not many opportunities from Saints, but not many opportunities from those two star players, Sculthorpe and Cunningham. And I'm sure that Ian Millwall would have said, come on, fellas, you've got 40 minutes to show what you've got. But do they have any petrol left in the tank? They look very tired late in that first half.
That's a great kick. And underneath it is Anthony Stewart. He fielded it well. Connolly in there quickly with David Ferner, bring him down. Well, the Saints supporters are matched behind their team in this second half. And they have provided fantastic vocal backing here this evening to their team. Do they have one last big effort?
Well, they won't throw the towel in, that is for sure. And but I'm sure that they realise, I'm sure their coach Ian Millwall feels the same way. They've got to get points on the board very, very early in this second stanza.
The kick over the top is by Sculthorpe, and it has forced Brian Carney right the way down to his own try line. Sculthorpe leading the chase, and he pulls him down with Joint.
That's about the first time we've seen Carney decked on the first attempt into a tackle. In a wow of the first half, very difficult to put to the ground.
Johnson gets to his feet, he plays the ball, and David Ferner now struggles to get up to his feet. Newton is there. St Helens, I think, are going to have to try and slow Wigan down if they can. Here's Dennis Betts, one of the old war horses, if he doesn't mind me saying that, desperate to get to Old Trafford in the grand final, and he shows. He missed 1998 injured, and he was a loser last year, of course. This is the last tackle for Wigan. They're on halfway, and the kick drilled all along the ground, and Hall not interested in that. Just allowed Lamb's grubber kick to find touch.
Safety first. Little halfback knows it too. With a commanding lead. No point in panicking. Just make sure that the position on the field of play allows him the opportunity to apply that pressure. He's had a fine season, hasn't he, Adrian Lamb?
He has. Early moments of this second half. Let's find out what was said in those dressing rooms. Here's Bill.
It's a pretty confident Wigan camp, but not overconfident. There's a certain jauntiness about the players as they came out for the second half. But the coach, Stuart Raper, has reminded them that the job is only half done, and they really have got to concentrate for these next 40 minutes. Complete their sets of six. Completion is the key word. Tighten up around the ruck, because that is one area where Saints have been damaging them. They suspect that Saints aren't really going to be trying to spin it out wide just yet, and they need to be tighter down the middle and to play with confidence, to play with desire, to show that they want to get to Old Trafford. For St Helens, this is really a crucial period of the game. If they can get some points on the board, then they believe that they can fire back. They are feeling the strain of these last few weeks, but they know that if they can get a score on the board early in the second half, that will trouble Wigan. Sean Long, sitting injured on the sidelines, thinks as much. He fancies Saints' chances if they can get points early in this second half.
Carney eventually will go to ground, doing a devil's own job getting hold of him. Well taken, that high up and under from Renoff, and now it's with Cowie, and he bounces off Stankovic, who didn't like it.
I don't think Cowie took too kindly of the fact that Yonkers got to him as well.
Here's Lamb, now Farrell up the middle, flying tackle by Furley.
There again, Eddie, you see the little reverse pass. Oh, it really has worked, and yet again they've worked hard on this.
And this is Cassidy, and he flicks it back to Connolly. Wigan keeping the ball alive, trying to run the Saints off their feet. Connolly eventually is ambushed by Furley, and also there Stankovic. No, Chris Joint, my apologies.
Surely it's a high kick.
Lamb has gone for that. A huge kick, a tester for Hall. He's dropped it. Wigan have got it back. It's play on. Hall with the blunder, and Betts has got it. Newton. Oh! Carney puts it down. Hoppy will counter.
Golden opportunity there. He's had a marvellous game up until this point. You could see he just took his eyes off, had a little look at Sean Hoppy. That's the reason why he put it down.
Well, that's a huge let-off for St Helens, and here goes Iro. That's touched by a Saint. It should be back to zero. Now lost.
Oh, opportunities both ways. Cassidy won't mind.
This is Johnson.
Right, tackle 2. Stand down.
Well, fantastic atmosphere, and Wigan looking to kill this game off with Cowie. Strong run from the Welsh international. Another one of the old war horses.
Good tactics, they're utilising the forwards. Newton controlling it again.
Great ball and a try for Lamb. Newton with a dazzling dash from dummy half. He's not given it. He wants to check the grounding. He's not given it yet, but if it is a try, it's the second for Adrian Lamb.
Well, it looked all right. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Rather surprised me that Stuart Cummings wanted to have another look. Trying to control it all the way.
Well, he had to make sure. It was an important try, and Adrian Lamb is given it. And that could be curtains for the champions. Second try for Lamb. Little swig out of the orange juice for Stuart Raper. Might be a touch of champagne in that orange juice come 9:15.
Again, we see what a tired defence it is. First and second markers couldn't get anywhere near Terry Newton. He was having a wow of a game, controlling things out there. Beautiful offload. When Newton concentrates on playing rugby league football, he gets to the highest, I can assure you. Forgets about all the silly niggling games. He's the provider. Tough time now for Ian Millwood, and he knows it. It was the other end of the field that he was looking for the points. And they've conceded 4, will it be 6?
Well, this will equal Frano Bottica's Wigan club points record of 4-2-3, set 9 years ago, 92-93 season. Andy Farrell has hauled in 10 points tonight, and Wigan have hauled in 26 to the champions 6. They're on their way to Old Trafford, they believe. The Wiganers have got a week to make their plans. Adrian Lamb, 2 tries, but St Helens might have something to say before this is done. But it will take a comeback of superhuman effort now.
Well, I made the point at half-time, Eddie, that we only give the yards forward from metres gained up the field, but we don't take into account the times that St Helens have had to turn around and chase through. When you've made 17 clean breaks, you've got no alternative but to run back sometimes 40, 50 metres. It takes its toll.
And so does tackling like that on Andrew Farrell. He was trying to make the bust, and here they come down this left channel again with Lamb. Now they get the penalty. St Helens are getting a bit desperate.
Frustration, trying to slowly play the ball down. And that is the word, Eddie. Desperation. Little doubt about it. Chris Joint desperate to try to just halt the roll that Wigan have got. And they've only themselves to blame. Remember, Wigan came up with a mistake and Saints had the opportunity to get it, and then they lost it.
It's with Cowie, and Cowie is hauled down by Peter Shields. Wigan looking to kill this game off. Johns.
2. And again.
He's had a great game. Johns really has taken on the defence. He's been asking the questions all night with his partner Adrian Lamb.
And here now goes Newton. Newton dumps it over the top to Matthew Johns, and he will score another. It's all over for Ian Millwood and the champions now. He hasn't scored in 16, but Matthew Johns has just come up with the try that, for me, will take Wigan Warriors to Old Trafford next Saturday night to take on the Bradford Bulls.
Little doubt about it. An outstanding effort tonight. Slowly but surely, he's come back to his best, but what a game from Newton. He has just run riot from the dummy half position. It was a ploy that we perhaps were looking to see from Kieran Cunningham. That has failed to materialise, and Johns surely realises that he's on his way to his first Super League Grand Final. Newton the provider, yet again.
Well, on this night that Wiganers will talk about for a long, long time, here is a kick for Andrew Farrell to enter the record books for this club, all on his own. 425th point of his season on the way if he kicks this. But more importantly, a little trip down the M62 to Old Trafford next week. And Farrell has kicked it. The celebration's about to begin. Wigan are on their way, 32 points to 6. Saints supporters desolate and destroyed.
Give them plenty of space and you'll build a farm, but not this fella. He wanted to get it forward. They are tired and they are struggling, Saints. This looks to be a sad end to what has been a wonderful season. All sides have been hit by injuries, but Saints, they seem to have battled through. They've brought kids from the bench who have just filled in ever so well throughout the season. But I think this has just been that game too far, Eddie.
And Wigan won't take the foot off the accelerator, don't worry about that. They will want to rub it in. Here is Cassidy, who's played a part. Neaton spins a wonderful long pass to Lamb, and here goes Renoff. Joint just gets to him. Well, there's the penalty.
Yeah. Well, he should have passed to Rydlinski on the inside, and that's the message that Stuart Raper will be saying. Take your opportunities, and also take notice. But again, we see that inside pass. They have worked that to absolute perfection tonight. Rydlinski was screaming for the ball. He would have been over the try line.
And Heath Cruikshank is on for the Saints, so he knows he's got around about 28 minutes, and Matautia has returned. He'll upset a few. Cunningham, trying himself again. Cruikshank, good defence from Wigan.
Great upper body strength there from Andy Farrell. Just threw Cruikshank back.
Sculthorpe is over. Sculthorpe. Don't tell me there's another comeback on the way. Sculthorpe's over for the try, and it all came about because Renoff gave away the penalty on halfway. Surely there isn't another twist here tonight, is there? You never know. Never know.
Not many opportunities this evening, but Sculthorpe, as we pointed to at the half-time break, it needed something special. This is the incident. The tackle was completed according to the referee, but Renoff continued on, and from the penalty, Sculthorpe through the dummy was beautifully. Oh, good effort. We've said it before, but this mob don't know what a towel is. Never mind throwing anything in.
Well, they only
Surely
need
they can't take.
They only need the glimmer of hope, and Paul Sculthorpe's just given it them. This kick, and Stuart Raper and John Keir have seen comebacks from St Helens before. Sculthorpe with a kick, he's missed it. 32-10.
That just about sums it all up, doesn't it? But it has given some sort of hope for those loyal fans, and boy oh boy, they have supported them all this year.
And he has done a wonderful job from the 26th of January when St Helens claimed the World Club Championship from the Brisbane Broncos. It's been a season to remember, no matter what happens here over the next 25 and a half minutes. Matautia is back, as I say, and he'll upset them. Wellens now.
I'm sure that Stuart Raper would have got the message out to the Wigan players now. Keep calm, don't give away silly penalties, don't get sucked into anything, and do not get sucked into an arm wrestle. Don't let St Helens get fired up.
Sculthorpe stopped that.
Well, hero to villain within seconds.
And what a hit from Adrian Lamb.
composure there from Terry Newton. This is the incident where they lost the ball. Good tackle, as Eddie said, from Lamb. Now, last week, what's Terry Newton? No, he doesn't want to get involved. He's taking it nice and calm. Now, last week, he would have been wriggling and wanting to throw and getting involved.
Joyce was the man who was all over the top of him. And Andy Farrell spurning the opportunity of two. Fancies going for broke.
And he wants to get them back on that roll again.
What a tackle from Lando. Remember in the match here against Saints 3 weeks ago, the big hit he put in on the young winger. Now here's Carney, one-on-one with Hall. This time Hall sticks to him.
And we will see this second receiver bring someone back on the inside, the crisscross.
Cassidy. Wigan just settling things down again after that Sculthorpe try. They're about 15 metres short of the line, and here's Newton. Oh, that was a big hit.
Well, it was on that time, but they read it well.
Cunningham read the script to perfection.
Well, they've done it all night. Well, David Fern.
Well, if he thought there was anything soft about the British game before he arrived here, Ferner, he knows better now. Oh dear.
The big fella's put it down.
Kevin Iro with the mistake. Wigan back in possession. Connolly.
Well, that's about the first one that they picked all night. There was a mistake from fella Kevin Iro.
Quick hands, and again, Carney! Hall's missed him, Carney's in! Carney's in for Wigan. That's just... Oh, hang on.
Just check the grounding, please.
Checking the grounding now.
Well, they're not happy.
Checking the grounding, and they can't believe why he's going to the video referee.
Nothing wrong with this at all. What's wrong with that? Doesn't bobble, doesn't lose it, full control. Typical Australian style of going over the try line.
By an Irishman. All the crowd watching, waiting for the decision. Brian Carney with a try. It's all right. Wigan unbeaten at home this year. 13 consecutive home wins now.
Here's a mistake, and a dejected St. Helens side were very slow to get their defence sorted out, and from it, basic football, just use Betts as the dummy runner. You can see there, they've sucked the winger in. Carney skips away. Nothing that Wellens can do about it. They are a depleted side. The breaks that they have made throughout this game, it'll be nightmare reading for Ian Millwood, the St. Helens coach, but he won't mind. He's as happy as any coach could ever be. He knows he is on his way to Old Trafford. So are we. I can't wait.
Yes, it'll be the fourth grand final at Old Trafford and the fourth year in a row that first have played second after the weekly rounds. Farrell with another conversion, faultless tonight with the boot. Oh, he's kicked another. They're on their way, they won't be denied now. 38 points to 10, the big worry for Bradford. 3 out of the 4. Beg pardon, 2 out of the previous 3. Second place has won the grand final. 19,260 here tonight. The biggest attendance for a playoff match outside the doors of Old Trafford. New marks all over the place this evening here in Wigan. And the team that for so many years dominated this sport are on their way back to a big occasion, the grand final next Saturday. But that almost has been a requirement from the Wigan hierarchy of Stuart Raper to get there this year.
And full credit to Raper has done a fine job. He's got the team ready. They were disappointed all. They didn't really have to force the pass there. Silly pass from Ferner.
Well, I think they'll try and just play now and play flamboyant grand final celebration football.
Well, there's still plenty to go, Eddie. I know it's a big lead, but really, if you're going to do and offload the ball like that, make sure you do it way down the field, not in your own half. And I'm sure that Stuart Raper will have told everybody out there. But this has been an absolute wonderful effort from Wigan. As a team, they've utilised everything, but one man out there is a big shining light. You've mentioned the two half-backs. There's a mistake.
Went backwards. Went backwards, says the referee. Martin, wide to Iro. Iro just dumps it down. Picked up by Yonkers.
Did well, the kid. Got to be a penalty.
Wigan ball.
Well, tackle not complete.
Tackle's not complete. He's decided to play the ball.
The referee's got it right.
He's decided to play the ball before
It was the ball carrying arm. You see it not hit the deck, so therefore, and he was moving, Yonkers.
He could have passed the ball.
Well, I'll get to it eventually, but I'm sure the coaching staff and I'm sure even the great Billy Boston would realise the importance of Terry Newton tonight. He has been so creative.
Cunningham all over the top of Matthew Johns. St Helens now hunting the mistake, but the breaks from Wigan, 24 of them, and only 4 from St Helens. It really is a bridge too far for the Saints, this.
Yeah, but the 17 that they made in that first half, we said it would take its toll on the Saints. They are just running virtually on empty at the moment.
Terry Newton, the man that Steve-O's singled out at the top of those breaks. Matthew Johns and Adrian Lamb not too far behind. Went backwards off the fingertips of Lamb. Play on. Just lost the momentum briefly, but Radlinski will try and add something here. Injects a bit of pace. Joint got to him.
Could have been a plot there from Hall. Just leaned over it.
Farrell.
Ball is in the man. Good decision by Cummings. I must say the referee's had a fine match tonight.
Well, he believes that the grand final next Saturday is up for grabs. It seems a straight choice between him and Russell Smith.
Well, he's thrown his hat in the ring. Stuart Cummings tonight. It's been outstanding.
Here goes Tommy Martin. Oh, they're forcing the pass, Saints. I suppose they've
got to. They know that the time's going away. Terry was about to, and he said, get on with it. Well, what a Betts is now trying to offload. An impossible situation. Maybe Wigan are getting a bit tired too.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. And that's another loose pass. And it looked as though Adrian Lamb might have been obstructed there. But this is Matautia for the Saints.
St Helens player, flat out.
He's not giving it up, you know. Ian Millwood hasn't given this up.
Well, Chris Joint took an eternity to get off the ground then.
And he's coming off the field.
Yonkers just got fingertips to him. Standing still, they're not running, as they're saying. It's on empty.
Here we go, fellas.
A sad end to their season, but they still have the club championship trophy back in the clubhouse. But I'm afraid the Super League trophy has gone.
And their opportunity of defending the World Club crown next year has gone with it. They do have the Challenge Cup though, and they'll be defending that. But there'll be a new name on the trophy this year.
New name on both trophies.
New name on the one that matters, the Tetley Super League trophy.
Well, it was a fiery start, but well done from both sides. The players have been, well, it's been played in a wonderful spirit, hard and tough as we expect. Now they can Wigan increase it. They want to make sure there must be no better feeling between these two old foes than to rub the salt well and truly into the wounds, and it's a pretty big wound at the moment.
Oh, Wigan won't be hanging off. There's no danger of that. And Farrell has just found touch with the kick. He's prepared to wind the clock down now. Just one too far for Ian Milwood. Well, the grand final is next Saturday. We can almost say it's Bradford against Wigan. Information 0113 244 114. Any other information other than the kick-off at 6:30 and the fact that it is at Old Trafford, and the Super League Europe office is open for business in the morning. It might be Sunday, but they will be open for business 9:30 in the morning. Super League Europe offices for any information that you might require. And you can also get information about the grand final on our website as well, www.skysports.com. 15 minutes remaining. 28 points the difference. Surely not.
No, they're gone, Eddie. They're too tired. It's virtually one-out football at the moment.
Here goes Schofield, though he won't turn it in, will he?
I must say that the defence from Wigan tonight has always been top class, and there's another mistake. Tommy Martin, didn't see much of him against Hull last week. He's hardly been seen again tonight.
No, the only thing he did really at Hull last week is score the match-winning try.
Yeah. Fair credit to him, he got himself into that position, but the big guns, they've not produced it. They haven't been allowed to, because this swarming defence by the Warriors has been, well, nothing short of superb.
An important 14 minutes for St Helens now. They won't want to be embarrassed against Wigan Warriors. Let's go down to, well, we will in a moment. Got to go down to Phil Clark, but this is Gary Connolly. This is Gary Connolly.
Gary Connolly at his best as well. Isn't that a great sight to see?
Yes, with the Aussies due. And the kick out wide, it's another tester for Hall. He's lost it, but it bounced off him and went out of the field of play. It will be head and feet at the scrum.
Well, they've peppered him this second half. Steve Hall. It's the second mistake he's come up with. Definitely came off his hand.
He didn't agree with the decision, but it was right, as we saw.
Now they will do the set piece. Will they come back on the blind side? Watch for Lamb going open, and then they'll bring someone back. Or will Farrell pick it up at the base?
Well, David Ferner has stood out of this scrum. He's waiting at standoff for the opportunity. And here is Ferner. And there is Radlinski.
Oh, what a great tackle from Wellens. Outstanding effort there. Radlinski was going for the line.
Instead, it might be Connolly. He gives it to Ferner, who started this move. He keeps it going. Back it comes to O'Connor.
That's two. Get out, Peter. Peter, get out.
Now then, Terry Newton. Went down a blind alley. Still has the strength to carry on. Dumps the ball back. Farrell dabs it to the in-goal area. It's a try for Carney.
Yep, he'll see whether he's onside first.
Second try for Brian Carney.
We're checking the ground in, really.
It's all down to Jerry Kershaw again, though. The context of the match, I don't suppose it matters much.
No. Seems to be happy with the fact that he's onside. That's a try. No problem whatsoever. This'll be Chihuahua.
You've waited a long time to say that tonight.
Beautiful weighted kick by the skipper. They really have peppered Steve Hall. And he has paid the price. Remember, he was hauled at, unfortunately, was deemed to have knocked the ball, getting goal. Wigan possession from the base of the scrum. Here it comes.
Try is given. Had a good look at it, touching down and the onside offside. Thumbs up, Stuart. You're on your way to Old Trafford. Waited a long time, nearly got there with Castleford. They beat Wigan on this ground, remember, to get to within 80 minutes. His Wigan side have beaten the champions tonight to set up a showdown with the Bulls.
But hasn't Newton just tormented them throughout this match? They held off, and the skipper's excellent chip through Where's he going? Nobody knows. Nothing telling you on that occasion, but look at the upper body strength. Offload yet again. Come on, Brian. Thank you. It's a rout.
It is. Carney, the Irish international, in the Great Britain squad, one of 8 Wigan men in that Great Britain squad to take on Australia. It has been a marvellous effort this year, though, from the Saints. It's ending in tears. And can Farrell continue this remarkable goal-kicking feat tonight? Just misses. 42 points to 10.
Well, I know that Ian Millward knew a long time ago that the writing was on the wall. As Eddie has just mentioned, he's...
One or two Saints fans, Steve-O, heading for the exit, but not too many. They're staying on to applaud their men off the field tonight. And I think reality bites.
Yeah, it's been a troubled season, as it has for all teams. It's all about fitness, and when you can come up with the star players at the business end of the competition, and Wigan and Bradford have been able to do that. Full credit to them. They've all had their injury problems, I know that.
They have all had their injury problems, you're right, and now Saints concede another penalty, but I think the Saints have had more injury problems than most. Let's go down to Phil Clark, 10 minutes to go. Phil, I hesitate to say this, but your old club is on its way to Old Trafford.
Yes, I sensed before the game that this team was up for something special, and it's probably been their most comprehensive performance all season. Not only have their outside backs sparked, the forwards have played well, but the 3 men who you keep mentioning time and time again, Newton, Lamb and Johns, have played probably their best game for a long time, and that's really been the thing that will probably worry Brian Noble and the Bradford Bulls. Very strong performance, and what Stuart Rape will be looking for now is a complete 80-minute performance from the Wigan Warriors.
Right, play the ball.
Second football is on, so now we will play the ball. Time back on again. The one thing we can say is that we are going to get the 4th different grand final in a row. Leeds, Wigan, the inaugural grand final.
Keep your hands out of it.
Saints Bradford.
Come on, fellas, keep your hands out of it.
Wigan Saints, and now Bradford Wigan.
It's made to go around.
And Andy Farrell's going to have a shot at goal here just to rub salt in even further. What an effort from him, though, tonight.
Well, it's looked as though he's
come up with
not just the season, but his career was threatened by the... I mean, he looked in awful pain last week at Hull.
Well, he's retiring at the end of the campaign.
He's been a great servant to rugby league, that is for sure. Stuart Raper also will recognise that, a fellow Australian. But the only thing on Stuart Raper's mind at the moment is the Theatre of Dreams.
Yes,
what an atmosphere that will be. It's been a wonderful atmosphere here at the JJB.
Been fantastic. And those St Helens supporters have played their full part in this. Just one game too far, and Farrell adds 2 more points, 44-10. I think Wigan fancy hitting the half-century.
Little doubt about that.
Well, let's go down to the side, Steve-O. Bill Arthur has got Mick Cassidy with him.
Must be a very good feeling.
Well, I think I can't hear Mick Cassidy, so we'll come back to him in a moment. 8 minutes to go. Another penalty. Someone's going to go in the bin here.
Touch judges on as well.
Take him away.
Sheer frustration, of course, and the scoreline at 44-10, not surprising. They know it's end-of-season trip, end-of-season drink, no glory.
Mark, since you've come on, right, you've been involved in a lot of tackles, right, and a lot of tackles are starting to go wrong. And that was clearly foul play. Come back, please. That was clearly foul play in the tackle. We've got to cut it out, all right, and calm it down.
Frustration, as you say, for Mark Edmondson. Frustration for St Helens. Glory for Wigan. And now I think we can hear from Mick Cassidy with Bill.
Mick, it must be a great feeling to know you're on your way to Old Trafford.
Fantastic feeling, yeah. It's been a hard season. The goals there at the end of the season when we get to the grand final. Tonight we've got there. One more game to go now.
And to do it in this style with such a comprehensive victory, that must be even more satisfying.
It is, yeah. Obviously, since we're depleted side this year, had a few injuries, but we were confident tonight of winning the game. We've shown what we can do. We can score tries and we can defend as well.
And I know you've got a week yet, and this is still going to sink in. But what about the Bulls?
Well, bring on the Bulls, but you know it's going to be a tough game. It was a tough game last week. I think there's nothing in the sides, you know. So we'll just aim for next week now.
You take this support with you, it's going to be worth an extra player, isn't it?
I'm sure all the fans will come. They've got behind us tonight, and they'll get behind us next week as well.
No penalties. I think they'll be getting the house full signs ready, because you've got the two best in the country, first and second again after the weekly rounds, and it's Wigan and Bradford. We've got 19,000 in here tonight. Here goes Cunningham, by the way. Puts the pass into the ground. Knocked on, though, I think, by Terry Newton.
Yep.
First one by Wigan.
The head and feed to St Helens.
Just going to make the point, Steve-O. We've got probably the two best teams now in the competition, first and second. We've got 19,000 in here. Bradford will take 25,000, 30,000. It'll be a bonanza night at Old Trafford. It'll be a full house.
Have you got your ticket?
Oh, I've got mine. I've had it months. I wouldn't give it away for anything. What a night next Saturday at the Theatre of Dreams.
And what a night also for Stuart Raper. Remember, this Tuesday, he announced his team so early. Very rare that a coach does that. He played the mind game against his opposite Ian Millward. He said, look, this is my team, I'm proud of them, let them worry about us. It's worked. They have played like champions tonight, Wigan.
One more game to go, though, and Saints looking to gain a little bit more respectability, but they've got 5 minutes left of their season, and it's with Furley. What a fitting end it would be if Furley got over for the try. Cunningham. Oh, nicked by Newton. Here they come, Wigan. This is Carney, well tackled then by Hall.
Pretty well, but wonderful quick hands there yet again from Newton, started it off. There's a little matter of the Bradford Bulls, of course. Wigan can't afford to start celebrating tonight.
Go on, David!
Professionalism is needed. We saw it last week, as Phil Clark mentioned. The fact that Andy Farrell got all his players around. Oh, there's a break from the big fella.
Yes, Harvey Howard. Oh, Paul Whelan stood his ground.
Well, I think he was that shocked. He went into him, he looked around and said, come on, boys.
This is Newton. Tackled by Furley. Looks like he's going to make almost the full 80 minutes. What a hero he's been tonight. Lamb gets it away to Chester. That was the last.
Not surprisingly, they went for the power play at 44-10. They know 80 minutes away from the gold Super League ring. And it's a beauty as well. I've seen them on players who have been successful in the grand final.
Well, Wigan won the grand final in '98. Bradford Bulls won the Super League crown in '97, pre-grand final days. So both names are on that trophy, but there will be a new name compared to last year and the year before at around about 9 o'clock next Saturday evening. Wigan will play Bradford. Wellens here for St Helens. 3 minutes to go.
Well, it would be a fitting end if the Saints could come up with a try. And that's to give something their fans to cheer about on the way home.
And Hoppy's looking for that.
Make the line, Chris. Make the line.
Three tackles.
They've played their part of Saints, but they've just been outgunned.
Cunningham. Away from Farrell. Still going Cunningham. Well, we will next see him.
Hands out, hands out.
I don't know about Saints in Australia, but we'll next see him when the Aussies are over, hopefully in a Great Britain jersey.
Let's bring it out here.
The 20th of October, of course, the tour begins at St Helens. But I wonder whether Sculthorpe, Cunningham and company will go the 80 minutes against the Aussies for their club. Maybe so.
Well, they can do Great Britain a huge favour, can't they? The Aussies will be just off the plane. They can play their part. Let's hope that they do. I'm sure they will.
2 minutes to go.
Just run out of gas at the Saints tonight. I'm not taking anything away from this Wigan performance. It's probably the best I've seen from them all-round performance, but their composure has been excellent. There's a lot of talk about it after a lot of chit-chat to the official last week against Bradford. They've got on with the job in hand, and that has been to win the game. And they've done that comprehensively, haven't they?
Here goes O'Connor. Lamb with the kick downfield. Over the head of Anthony Stewart. No, he'll collect it. But St Helens now are shattered. Look at the forwards plodding back. Here's Iro. 6-all he made it, remember, with that try. Dumps it over the top to Yonkers. He takes the tackle from Renoff. We're in the last minute. Here goes Sean Hoppy. Now it's with Iro, and he's away from Farrell.
But again, this Wigan defence swarming around them. Been so good, they've just virtually forced the Saints into one-out football throughout this game.
What a grand final we're in for. Bradford, Wigan. A sad evening for Ian Millward. First defeat in playoff football with Saints.
An unusual feeling.
Come on, fellas, come on, fellas.
Not a bad night for Stuart Raper. Up goes the ball. Radlinski's under it. Oh, dropout coming up underneath the post, but it won't happen. They've won it. He knows it. They're on the way to Old Trafford. Ian Millward and the Saints season comes to an end. Carney with 2 tries has played his full part. Wigan just too good and too strong on the night. It's 18 wins out of 21 for Stuart Raper since taking the job here in May. 1 to go for Stuart Raper. The grand final next week, and Stuart Raper is talking now to Bill.
Stuart, you're looking very, very calm, but you must be so delighted at that.
I am. I'm really delighted with and really happy for the guys, and I'm really proud of the way we played. We played rugby league today, and that's what we can do. And now we've got to focus and set our sights on next week.
You said after a game a couple of weeks ago when you played Hull, you beat them, but you said they were almost more hungry than you. Do you think your guys have found the hunger?
We found the hunger, we found the desire, and we used our heads tonight. We played rugby league, like I said. Our defence was outstanding, and we showed that, that hunger within our defensive pattern. And, if we can do that, look out the Bulls next week.
And to do it with this sort of style, I mean, it's not just a narrow win, it's an emphatic win, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, St Helens are a great side. They've been the champions, and just deservedly so. They've got great players out there. But today we showed, that there's going to be a new era, and hopefully it's going to be Wigan.
Well, I mean, you're still going to let this sink in. But what about Bradford?
We'll always start to switch on about Bradford straight away. We know what we've got to do to get on top of them. But we'll be working hard. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Enjoy it, Stuart.
Thank you.
Brian Carney has just joined us. Wow. What do you make of that?
It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I'm over the moon.
Well, I mean, you came here from Hull, and this must be all your dream.
Oh, it is. Grand final, hopefully. Well, yeah, it's brilliant. Couldn't be better.
And did you think it was going to be this convincing?
Oh, it was still a tough game. Don't worry about the scoreline. It was a hard game out there. Saints gave us a good game. Don't worry about the scoreline. It was a semi-final.
Well, I mean, you're going to enjoy this now, Brian.
Yeah, for a long time. I want to get out there now. See us. That's it.
Well, a wonderful night for the Wigan Warriors, a wonderful night for their supporters, a wonderful night for Stuart Raper, and he's going around every single one of his 17 Warriors here tonight and saying thank you for taking us to the grand final. And well, what a grand final we have in prospect now. Bradford Bulls and Wigan Warriors. He's waited for this. He came over and he rescued Castleford from relegation all those years ago. Then he took Castleford to within 80 minutes of a grand final appearance. They beat Wigan on this ground, broke Andy Farrell's heart that night, broke their hearts as well. Now he's at the Theatre of Dreams, and what a job he's done. What a fantastic job he's done since taking over from Frank Endicott earlier this year. And that, Steve-O, could have been the moment when Wigan made the decisive play of the year 2001.
Yeah, you're probably right on that situation, but they did have the stars. They knew that they had the players out there that could produce football that we've seen tonight. And it has been an outstanding effort from them. But you must give credit to Stuart Raper, the way that he had them set for this. It was wonderful tactics. They just played, and well done to the Saints. They gave their all. They just run out of steam. The defence was superb.
Well, a fantastic effort from St Helens all year. We can take nothing away from them, but tonight it is Wigan's night, and it's this fella's night, because Terry Newton's the man of the match. He gets the Tissot watch, and here he is with Bill.
Terry, congratulations. There you go, man of the match. There's the watch that goes with it. And what a great way to win it. What a great game to win it in.
Yeah, just like to thank Tissot. I don't think the scoreline reflected the game, you know. St Helens were a great side. We just came and completed our sets, kept going forward, and we came away winners.
You said in the week you were going to let your rugby do the talking tonight. You certainly did that.
I was, yeah. I let myself down last week, but I focused on the game tonight, and I think I've done a good job.
Thanks, Terry. Well done.
See you, Bill. Da.
Yes, he has done a great job, hasn't he? And I'm sure, well, no wonder he's smiling. Clarkie, your old club are there, but what a grand final we've got now.
Effort, and I really just grabbed a quick word with Andrew Farrell as he walked past, and he said, listen, we've won nothing yet. I suppose that's the attitude he needs to take into the grand final. I'm sure Wigan will prepare as best they can, but if they can play like that tonight, well, I worry a little bit for Bradford Bulls. Brian Noble, you've got your hands full this week.
Well said, a former Wigan star, a former Wigan captain. They have got their hands full. It will be, Steve-O, well, I was going to say the best grand final we've ever had. We've had three corkers, haven't we?
I know, it gets better each year, and why not? I mean, you know, I just can't wait for it, because Wigan have played at their best tonight. Brian Noble will have the Bulls all set for it. Believe you me, it will be a cracker.
Well, they have watched tonight. The Bradford Bulls will have watched Wigan get there this evening, and they will now be beginning their plans to knock Wigan off at Old Trafford next Saturday night. You won't miss a bit of it if you stay with us on Sky Sports 1 next Saturday from 6 o'clock, the grand final of the Tetley Super League, the Bulls and the Warriors, Bradford against Wigan. Probably the best grand final we could have had in the circumstances. Top will play second, and someone will go home with the trophy. One to go, but what a big one for those two clubs. We've enjoyed it all season, and I think there is something extra special to come next week. Bye-bye.
at 8 on Sunday, the 14th of October. Definitely maybe.